Hey there, what's up guys? Welcome back to this episode of A Sexy Confident Life. I'm your host, Anna Renderer, and we are here to talk about one of those emotions that doesn't serve us, doesn't feel good, and that is that emotion of resentment. I'm gonna share a story with you guys today because this is something that's happening personally in my life, and I wanna share with you how I'm dealing with these emotions, how I'm handling these things that happen in our lives on a regular basis, because I am just like you. I have these emotions like resentment and anger and frustration and sadness and all those things, but I have ways of handling these feelings and these emotions so that they don't take over my life. They're not things that I want to have in my life. I want joy, I want acceptance, I want happiness, I want all that stuff, right? But a lot of times situations happen in our lives where it just creates turmoil, and resentment can happen very, very quickly, especially in marriages and friendships, in business partnerships, because there's a partnership there. And sometimes things can feel out of balance. Sometimes you can feel like you're being drained and you're being sucked dry, and that sucks. So personally in my life, I'm going through a phase of being a new mom and working through that new phase with Vito, my husband. And it got me really feeling different emotions that I haven't had in a long time. I haven't felt resentment in a while. And it was new to me. I didn't really know what I was feeling, and I didn't know why I was so frustrated. I didn't know why I was like angry and like bitter about little things, right? Because sometimes we just don't even know why we're feeling these things because we haven't really taken a step back and said, what's going on with me? Why am I not joyful? Why am I not fully engaged? Why am I not loving like I usually am? Is it just because I'm tired? A lot of times, that can be a contributor, but it's not always the full reason. So today, I want to share with you guys how to avoid resentment because I'm figuring it out in my own journey. And as a high performance coach, there's a lot of ways that we can handle resentment. One is being aware, right? And being clear about what it is that we need in our lives. But there's a phase that I went through myself, and I said, it's called making it rain, okay? So if you're feeling resentment in your life, and you're going through these just stressful moments and there's a disconnect in your partnership or your relationship or your friendship, even in family relationships, are you resentful? Are you feeling that in your life right now? I want you to make it rain. And I'm going to share with you what that means. R is recognizing the traits of your resentment, knowing really what it is that makes you aware that you're even feeling that way. Because a lot of times, if we're not aware and we don't recognize the ways that we're acting and feeling and label it as what it is, I'm feeling resentful, then we miss how to handle it, how to heal from it, how to move forward from it, right? If we don't tackle things straight on, you guys, if we don't say, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, but I want to feel differently. How am I going to handle it? First step is awareness, right? So R is to recognize. And 2, A, accept your role. I'm going to go into that. 3, initiate gratitude and appreciation for the other person. And 4, nail down communication. I'm going to run through these very quickly with you as I share my personal story, because I want you to really understand the psychology behind this and to start to figure it out in your own mind. Because if right now you can relate, if you clicked on this podcast and you clicked on this video and you said, yeah, I want to know how to avoid resentment because I've been down that road before and I don't want to go back, you're in a good place, right? So the first thing I talked about was recognizing the traits, right? Just being aware of when you start getting into that place of resentment. For me, it's like we just had Luca, And I was overwhelmed, you know. I had my business stuff that I wanted to do, but I really couldn't. I had to fully step back from stuff like that. I had to be there for him, breastfeeding, changing him, soothing him, getting him into a schedule, you know, all of that stuff. And also healing. And I felt just like overwhelmed, and I felt like I was doing so much, and me. I was like caught in my own world that I didn't feel like I was getting the help that I needed from Vito. He was going about business as usual, doing what he could when he could, but could we both afford not to sleep? No, right? Could we both afford not to work? No. We're in a partnership. It's a marriage. We decided to have a baby, and we knew there was going to be sacrifice, right? And so I feel like I was doing all the sacrificing. And I was feeling a little bit bitter. I was feeling resentful. I could tell because I was more frustrated, and I was just a little bit more angry about things, and I wasn't my happy self, you know? I was feeling alone, and I was just, it was little things, and I could sense that this isn't me. This isn't my character, right? And this isn't just being tired. This goes deeper than fatigue, right? And so I was really recognizing these traits, and I started to realize I'm being resentful. And that's just not something I want in my life. That's not a feeling I want to have. And it's not the trait of a high performer. And I know I'm a high performer in life. And I know that I have the ability to get out of that feeling of resentment, right? I've learned too many things, and I've done too many of my high performance coaching lessons to know that we have the ability to control how we're going to feel, and how we're going to deal with the emotions that come into our life that might not serve us, right? But do. They come. We can kick them out, though. So the second thing, I accepted my role. I looked back and I said, okay, if I'm resentful, what can I do about it? Why am I resentful, and what can change, right? Because I don't want to be resentful towards this person. Maybe you're resentful towards somebody at your work because they don't work as hard as you, right? And they are just kind of cruising by, and you're the one taking action and doing all the stuff. But ask yourself, have I accepted my role? Because for me, no one else can breastfeed Luca. No one else can nurture him the way his mama can. No one else can stay up with him all night. You know, no one else can give him that time in his life, and no one else can be there. So I needed to accept that that was my role. I needed to accept that I needed to step back from other things that required my attention before, and not feel bitter about it, not feel resentful about it, but to accept it. You know, if you're the one that's doing a lot at your job, it might be because you're the only one that can do it that way. You know, if it's a friendship and you're resentful because your friend is just like a lassie-dassy and doesn't really, you know, give that much to your friendship, and you give so much, well, maybe it's because you're that friend. You're the one capable of being that way. And if you don't accept who you are and accept your role, then you need to change it. Right? Because being resentful or being bitter about what you have to do in your life, or what role you play in your life, if you don't accept that, the only thing you can do is change it. I always say, you change how you feel about the situation, or you change your situation. Almost in anything in life. So I chose to sit back and say, I accept. I accept that I'm mom right now. I accept that this is the job for me. And I'm the only one that can really do this job. And there's so many moms out there that might feel this resentment, might feel bitter right now, but might be going through that phase, just like me. But have you accepted fully your role? And if you haven't, then you've got to make adjustments. You've got to change things. But for me, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm doing right now. Accepting that released so much frustration and so much victimhood and so much bitterness. And the third thing I did is I initiated gratitude and appreciation for my partner. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in our own lives and in our own mess, you know, mentally, emotionally, whatever, especially as women, that we forget other people are doing amazing things around us. Other people are putting in a lot of effort in their own way. And I looked at my husband and I started to recognize, once I got out of my own way, once I got out of my own, you know, mental kind of block where I was bitter and feeling a little bit angry about my situation, I initiated gratitude because I recognized all the things that he was doing. Right? It's a partnership. Whatever's going on in your business relationship or your friendship or your relationship, your marriage, your boyfriend, whatever, recognize what they're doing well. It might not be what you're doing. It might not be as at the same degree as what you're doing, but they're doing things and they're unique in a special way. And I know that Vito works so hard for this family. He is always giving. He is always putting out there. And not even just for our family, but for other entrepreneurs that he coaches, for other people that demand time from him. And he gives and gives and gives. And I looked at that and I said, wow, he's doing so much too. What a great guy. What a hard worker. He's doing it. He's making it happen. And I sat down that night at dinner and I actually said to him, good job, babe. You know, after I had had a hell of a night, a hell of a day, right? I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff myself, but it wasn't about me. It was about him. And I sat down and I said, good job today. You did a freaking awesome job. And I saw this light in his eye. It was like he appreciated it so much, just that compliment. Like he hadn't gotten it in a while from me. He hadn't gotten it in a while maybe from anyone because no one's really thanking him, right, on a daily basis about the good job and the good work that he did all day long. At the end of the day, you sit down and you have dinner. Who's congratulating you and thanking you and cheering you on? You've got to do that for other people and not just always expect them to do it for you. But with gratitude brings gratitude. And the more gratitude you can give, the more appreciation you can give to another person, the more it will come back to you. Right? It's not draining to give gratitude and appreciation. It's filling. It fills you up and it gives you more. It gives you more. It's that energy and that cycle that is going to come back to you. So you've got to initiate that gratitude, right? It's just like not going to come because sometimes you might not feel like it. You know, sometimes you might just be like, oh my God, my day's been hell and I can't even have the energy to like sit up right now and I just want to go to bed and take a nap, or I just feel so frustrated with my work or blah, blah, blah. I know that feeling, you know, but it's just like, hey, pay someone a compliment. Tell them they're doing a great job. It will come back. And the last thing is that total nailing down of the communication. Nail down your communication, because for me, in my situation, I had to express myself. I had to say, hey, you know, this is how I'm feeling, and now that I can't do all these other things, this is what I'm afraid of, and this is what I really want to do, and so can you help me out here? Is there anything we can do together to figure this out? Is there something that we can, you know, map out together to allow me to do this one thing? Or just so he knows where I'm at, just so he knows, you know, the feelings I'm going through. It allows him to really be a better partner because, you know, you got to be explicit about the things you're going through. We can't just expect people to notice that we're feeling frustrated and resentful and bitter and tired and overwhelmed, you know? We got to be like, I'm feeling this way and I'm trying to cope with it and this is what I really want to do and here's how you can help me. And if they can't help you, then you work together to find help, right? And that was my conversation with him. I said, listen, if I need to work my business more, but also take care of Luca because you need to work your business at the same level and that we can't find an agreement here, well, then we're gonna have to hire help. And then we both agreed that we didn't need to hire help because we both could give a little more. We both could give a little bit more and we negotiated what needs to happen in the household boom, the next several weeks have been so much better. And my love for him has been so much better. And the communication and the gratitude and all of the energy was lifted, especially from me. Because doesn't it feel like so draining on your soul when you're feeling resentful and bitter towards someone? It's the worst. It's the worst ever. And so, whatever it is that, you might be going through, I want to share this story with you, and I want to share this process with you because I think it's so important that we understand our power in overcoming these frustrations and struggles that happen in our life. It's not about being perfect. It's about recognizing that imperfection, recognizing that human side of ourselves, and then doing the work to get better, doing the work to overcome the struggles. That's what it's about. And, people out in the social media world and influencers that are speaking on these topics and that are writing books about things like this, and they're doing personal development stories and podcasts, you better believe your ass they're going through the same struggle that they're teaching on. And they figured out how to overcome it. They figured out how to get better, how to better themselves. That's what it's all about, guys. And that's why I hope you listen to this podcast. I hope you listen so that you can improve yourself. Not so that you can say like, oh, Anna's got all the answers. No, like Anna's a real human being going through the same struggles as me. And she's just one step ahead because she's learned some things that now she's teaching me. And in high performance coaching over the last 4 years, I've been implementing over and over and over again all the lessons I teach my students because I handle those same struggles myself. But every time I handle that situation, I get better, right? And so it's faster and faster. I overcome the resentment faster. Next time I'm resentful, guess how fast I'll be getting over it? Even faster, because this situation really opened my eyes to an emotion and a feeling I hadn't had in a long time. And maybe you haven't had that feeling in a long time. So when you get it, you're not really sure how to handle it. You're not sure how to come through it, break through it. Now you do. You're going to make it rain. You're going to make it rain so that you can feel refreshed, renewed, lift all of that frustration out of your life. Let the energy bloom again inside of you, and love the people around you who are also working very hard and working as a team with you to get things done, to get to the next level in life. So I hope this served you, my friends, because it's truly been a game changer for me in the last several weeks of my life. And I know that if you kind of take yourself out of your own frustration and you just recognize where you're at, you accept the role, you initiate the gratitude, and you nail down the communication in your life, it's going to change the game. All right? Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.